We're going to talk about the things that have been happening, things that have been popping out of the entertainment world in general, because there's been a lot that's going down. And the first things I want people on the podcast to realize is when it comes to comic books and it comes to film, let's get into it, because first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to preface this for the audience. We're talking about Superman. It just came out, directed by James Gunn and DC Films, rebooting the entire DC EU franchise after Zack Snyder. I know there's a lot of Snyder fans out there that love Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. I want to be preface things to say Zack Snyder's version was good for non-comic book fans. Zack Snyder did a lot with Justice League. He did a lot with Man of Steel. He did a lot with Batman versus Superman. But a lot of times, if you're a fan of those, you really stick up for them, but you don't like comic books. And if you say you do, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But my one problem with those were they made Superman too much of a god, too much proliferal type of Jesus figure. I get it. Batman and Superman shouldn't have fought in a second movie. Definitely not. Wonder Woman popping up out of nowhere was cool. Her first solo movie was good. Her second movie was terrible. And Aquaman and his second movie was all right. Zack Snyder never seems to get sequels, prequels, and anything. Justice League, the Snyder Cut, was good. I enjoyed it. Did I have to sit 4 hours to watch a movie? Yes, I fucking did. Was it worth the wait? I think it was. A lot of fill in here, fill in there, stuff you didn't get from Joss Whedon's version. And Joss Whedon's version was very choppy. James Gunn, who worked on Guardians of the Galaxy, who created that entire franchise. And yes, he did like the Suicide Squad, he did Peacemaker, and he did, I hate to mention this show, the Harley Quinn show. He's done a good job for what people will believe is comedy. He was canceled at some point from Marvel and fired because of his inappropriate tweets. Then he came back, finished Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and now is working with DC on Superman, based on Superman and Man of Tomorrow. Basically referenced and preferenced off that comic. That comic made this movie and gave this movie more life and more energy. He did preference this by saying, this movie is like opening up a comic book. It goes right into it. We get a spoiler alert. This is a straight spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched Superman. It's been out for about, a good, let's say, 3 weeks? Almost a month, right?
I said 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, almost like 3 weeks. So this is a spoiler-heavy part of the podcast. If you don't want to watch this part, move on to when we talk about anime at said timestamp. If you want to actually listen to this, stay tuned. It starts off kind of like a text recap of Superman. Like, hey, and we thought we were alone. An alien came to the planet 3 years later. He's saving people. They already established Superman. They don't give us the backstory of Krypton blowing up. They don't give us him crash landing. Ma and Pa Kent seem to be pretty much older, like really older for some reason. If this is modern times, I thought they would have been looking a little more younger-ish, but not super old. James Gunn has stated he grew up in the farmland, so he kind of, I guess his representation of older people, like, from, I don't know, let's say a millennial or Gen Z's perspective would be these type of folks. For Ma Pa Kent, they really did a lot of text stuff, and then boom, Superman crash lands in the Antarctic. And honestly, our first depiction of him is getting his ass beat.
Now, if I can say something about that, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, in my situation, I was a bit surprised seeing that, because, the first thing that pops up is, Superman's getting the Yamcha treatment. I'm like, damn, he's like Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z. Like, sheesh. Did he get beat by Superman? Like, shit. In a way, I feel like how it portrayed in the beginning like that, it was just, a mystery. Like, what caused Superman to get defeated like that? And how is he weak? Or how is he just not able to withstand the way he got beaten in a situation when he called Crypto. Now that was something kind of making me laugh. I'm like, here comes your boy, and then next thing you know, Crypto's super energetic,
jumping on him, beating his butt. So this is a dog. Which that said dog was referenced off of James Gunn's actual dog. So his dog will live forever in a fucking Superman movie.
Oh, did his dog pass away or something?
No, his dog's still alive, but they they used all of his dog's mannerisms, actions, biting his feet, stuff like that. They used a lot of his dog to create this super crypto dog.
Oh, okay. But they use mocap in order for it to work.
I think they did. I think they used a lot of mocap, maybe some animation, but they really CGI. Part of it might be a more real dog here and there, but a lot of times they say it's a CGI dog. You know what I'm saying? So they took he's based off of James Gunn's dog.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
But I do feel like later after... No, I'm going to say this. What really caught my attention was the Fortress of Solitude.
Okay.
Like, after seeing Crypto driving Superman back into the Fortress of Solitude, and then seeing the helpers, I'm just like, okay, so we definitely know there weren't no talkative of how Krypton was destroyed and everything. All you just see is, like, you see
Text.
Superman's parents. Yeah, it was talking about, like, the final message. But it was just like a decrypted message because they had a glitch in the end, which we didn't know what it was being said. Superman lives by that, his parents' words. So I do feel like down the line, it was just like I was trying to figure out what was going on. Like how from point A to point B, Superman gets beat. Crypto comes, pick him up, Fortress of Solitude. Then after that, he heals, from the sun, like, praise the sun, Dark Souls reference. And then he goes back to Metropolis. Yeah, exactly, right? And then from a situation, this guy called Ultraman comes out of nowhere. I'm like, Ultraman from, like, Japanese Ultraman? Like, Ultraman! Yeah! I'm thinking about that, but he's aka the Hammer.
A lot of people... I already knew this off the bat who Ultraman was, because when I heard Ultraman, the first thing I thought of was the alternate universe where Superman is evil, right? Ultraman.
Right.
But then the first thing I thought about was, well, that doesn't make sense. Are we doing multiverses right now? Is James Gunn really going into that? But DC always had a time and place for their own multiverse. They're called Elseworld stories. DC has all that. So, but when Superman got back, this dude was the Shield of Qatar, something like that. I forgot his name. I hate it.
Qatar.
Yeah, he was the hammer of Qatar.
Bolivia.
The hammer of Bolivia is what he was called. Bolivia. And
if I'm wrong in the comments, let me know, guys.
Yeah. But Superman, a lot of people didn't like the fact that Superman was he was getting healed by the sun, but he was screaming because all his bones were shattered and fractured. But I'm like, that it makes perfect sense. If he got beat that bad that he fractured some bones, that means somebody was strong enough to do damage to Superman. Superman is not unbreakable. He can be broken. The sun heals everything about him. Superman's like a living alien plant. You know what I mean?
He really is.
So when he got back into the fight, even his helper robots were like, "Are you sure you should be jumping back in? You just got healed." Like, there's never a rest moment. So when he fought the Hammer of Bolivia, I felt like this was retribution for what Superman did. What they referenced early on in the movie that started to be in the middle section, of where they referenced him saving people without telling the government, doing it on his own, and not basically taking things into his own hands. I'm saving people in other countries. I'm violating U.S. law, violating airspace, basically breaking a lot of laws and treaties and just doing things that he shouldn't be doing. When he defeats the Hammer of Bolivia, still gets a little beat up here and there.
He didn't defeat him, though.
He didn't defeat him.
Because here's
got a
the
little
thing.
one-on-one.
Because here's the thing. Hammer was having a monologue. It was like literally how like Nitro Man, like, where you think you're going? I got 3 minutes of playtime with you, Superman. Yeah, that's what it came out to. And I'm over here thinking like, okay, what's going on? You see Lex Luthor and Luthor Corp, and I'm seeing some female coworker. I'm like, is that a coworker or is that Lex Luthor's like plaything? She's taking a selfie.
She's taking selfies. I love her.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Preference this. The selfie was right on point as Superman got his ass beat. Lex Luthor
exactly
hating the most hated man in the world. Just
I'm just asking myself, like, what's going on here? You have Hammer of Bolivia doing a monologue. This girl taking a selfie for some odd reason. I don't know why, but it does play later on down the movie of why she's taking selfies. But then finding out, and this is what caught my attention. Luther is commanding Hammer of Bolivia, like aka Ultraman, into doing tactical moves. But those moves,
one
I
A,
don't think
one A,
people.
one B, one C,
Hold
one
on, hold
E,
on,
two,
hold on.
three.
No, you got it wrong. Those moves, I think they're from chess.
Okay, chess
Pretty much
moves.
when you playing chess, yes. I feel like those are the moves that you play in chess because I'm like different letters and numbers you're saying. I'm just like, okay, it's like king takes rook, bishop takes pawn, knight takes what's the other one? Knight takes queen. You know, something like that. It just gives me that type of vibe. So I'm just like, okay, Luther has been studying Superman for all his life. But I was like, how did he study him all his life? What did he do to, because I feel like Lex
Lex is like a
Luthor was a
stalker.
stalker. He's like, I like you, Superman. I want everything about you. I need everything about you. I'm
That
like,
that
okay,
that in
dude.
itself, I do agree
Yeah.
with. I feel like it's Lex Luthor. Through satellite recordings, through image
Yep.
findings, through even just videos across Metropolis. Lex has
Yeah.
probably won. This is not his first encounter. Like this is not our first encounter with Lex. This is our first brand new encounter with Lex Luthor. This version of Lex Luthor played by said actor. They got history together. They got history
Yeah.
of each other. And
Yep.
Lex has been studying him for so long that he's like, okay, Superman's tactics is to fly this way, punch like this. His tactics is to kick like this, move like this with super speed in the air. Okay, copy. So this is
Right.
all his move sets. So he's probably analyzed it through cameras, visuals, his own company's satellites. If Lex is as hateful and evil as he is going to strategize how many different points of view I can see this man fight a creature, monster, anything, and how many times can I see him use the same move set over and over again. Knowing Lex Luthor, he had to probably calculate 1 to 1,000,000 times, maybe like 70 million, to see if Superman is one, a creature of habit. How many times does he does this? How many times does he does this? When this doesn't work, does he do this? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that.
Right.
And I do like the chess idea. He uses chess moves with the combinations of the fighting combat moves for each and every person in that room. Not bad.
Correct. Yeah, because it's like tactical. Like he used tactical counters. That's what it is. Like I feel like because as you're saying, like he studied everything about Superman, and the fact that he knew all his moves because just by seeing how Superman fights, he was able to like have a different counter. It's just literally like what's his name? Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins. Full
Meliodas, yeah.
counter.
Full counter.
Yeah, it's like that. That's pretty much what it was. The vibe it was giving, and I'm like, holy crap! But another thing that I was wondering why Angela, the engineer, why was she at the Fortress of Solitude? Because I feel like they were trying to find Superman's home, and she was doing recon, like she was scouting his home. Because remember when she said that Superman's coming back, and I'm going back to what we were talking about before, of how Superman got his ass beat, and the robots are telling him like, you just got beat by 86%. 86%. So I'm just like, I feel like it was just a distraction. They wanted to lure Superman out, by getting his butt kicked, get healed, and come back.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
because
now,
he does Lex's whole goal is to find Superman's home, find his weaknesses, and exploit them.
yes, exactly. He's literally just a weird stalker, but just like the extreme rich stalker, like honestly. And what got me to the fact that it was just like Lex hate metahumans. He hates aliens. He hates because like he feels like is supposed to be top tier. He's like no one in this planet should be better than me. Dude's literally like the person we have in today's society. I'm not saying names, but it's just like, yo, like this is getting really out of hand. it's getting really, because like it kind of feels like what's happening here. But then I just questioned so many things going on in the situation. Seeing how all this transpired, and they found the Fortress of Solitude, but they couldn't get in. You get what I'm saying? They couldn't get in. But before then, let me see, after Angela, oh not, did I say Angela or Angelica? Is it Angelica?
I think you said, I'm not even sure. Angelica, maybe? You said
I think
Angela.
I said, yeah, Angela. Yeah, the engineer. I just call her engineer for short, because that's her actual, name.
Moniker, yeah.
Um, yeah, I do feel like she was human, and I remember she saying that she sacrificed her body in order for meta humans to not be able to control anything, because you never know, there'll be some evil meta humans and some good meta humans, but you know how that goes.
Most
If you're
definitely.
someone that if you're someone that's super powerful and everything, they'll look at you and perceive you differently.
Yeah,
Hey,
I feel
can you
like
say?
I feel like this. So I think from the James Gunn perspective, metahumans have always been a talking point when it comes to the CW's versions of superheroes. Oh, excuse me, and Young Justice. It's
Yeah,
metahumans, for anyone who knows, are basically genetic, let's say mutants for the DC universe. You got Static, you got Gear, you got other characters like Connor could be called a metahuman technically, but he's a clone of Superman.
right.
Aqualad, Beast Boy, anybody else from like Young Justice or Teen Titans could be concerned as a metahuman. Kid Flash as a metahuman. What's his name? I'm trying to remember Slade Wilson's son's name. Could be called a metahuman. I forget his name. Terra, a metahuman. Basically,
Terra's a metahuman. Yeah,
Terra definitely metahuman. Basically, DC metahumans have their own origin story. In Young Justice, their origin stories come from Vandal Savage. He's the first ever technically metahuman ever, hit by the meteor, changed by its rays, and throughout genetic history and out time, all the metahumans are basically passed down from him. That's Young Justice story. However, the rest of the DC comic story is different. But it seems that a lot of the people that joined Lex seem to despise metahumans like the Engineer. And for some
yes, exactly.
reason, my thought process on that was, if you sacrificing your body just to like take out Superman and so-called other threats, to me is crazy. I think even Mr. Terrific would not be considered a metahuman, but he's a super genius.
No,
However that
so
works. So yeah, but yeah,
I'm gonna say this, Mr. Terrific. He gives me Brainiac. He gives me like Tony Stark. He gives me that type of vibe. But the thing is, he doesn't process human emotions like that as much.
empathy. What you
Because
mean? He's not giving out empathy.
exactly
Yeah,
thank you.
he said it. He was like, if you're like, when Lois was talking to him, fast forwarding into like the movie, he was like, are you trying to talk to me? I'm not good with this. I'm not doing it with you. You know what I mean? And she was just rambling
Right,
off.
right.
And then the funniest part of the movie, he gave his. If anyone can find the clip, the funniest part in the movie for me is when Lois says, I was gonna break up with him, and then he turned around like the most blackest face, like he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You were gonna break up with the most powerful man in the world? he did
I
he did the blackest thing ever. Like, you are a everything he said in that moment was, he didn't say nothing, but his face was priceless. It was every black person collectively like, girl, you were gonna break up with the what? Are you white women?
but I don't have no comment to that. But what I can tell you, honestly, to the other part, because you talk about Lois. Here's the thing about Lois. So I was questioning, like, after Clark wasn't at the Daily Planet, right? I'm like, okay, he's at Daily Planet. Of course, no one knows Clark is Superman. I'm
The
like,
glasses,
the
yeah.
glasses. So it's just like, okay, something about them glasses. I don't know what it is. Is there something in it is magical? I do not know. But come on.
It's stated in older comics that when he puts the glasses on, it hides his identity, but it makes people see somebody else. So basically,
Oh, really?
yeah. So the glasses make people believe and see through whoever what he looks like. Once he takes the glasses off, because Superman's alter ego is Clark Kent.
Right.
And Clark Kent is supposed to be scrawny, weak, minuscule. He's supposed to make himself look smaller. So with the glasses, that kind of adds on because he looks like a nobody. He's a faceless person. So the glasses
Yeah.
in comics make people see what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's Clark
Right.
Kent. He's this weirdo looking little, like, scrawny little shithead. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
almost looks very weak in everyone's eyes. It fools everybody, including Lex Luthor. It fools every single person in the comic books. Until, obviously he opens up, tells Lois, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Batman
Yeah,
finds out. Yeah.
that's the thing I was trying to find. I was trying to question. Like in the movie, Lois already knows who Superman is because I was asking
Because
myself, like,
eventually he told her, yeah.
yeah, but I was like, in the movie, you don't see her. You don't see him telling her. She already knows already.
Yeah.
When she got home, and I'm like, Clark is cooking something and everything else. But I was like, in the first. In Daily Planet, what caught my attention because I read like body languages and people face expressions was like Lois was asking, like, who are you? Just by looking at it, like who are you exactly? But then when it cuts off to Lois going home, and then Clark's in the kitchen making food and everything. So they're pretty much like they're fucking, but you already know. But then I was just like, okay, so Clark already told Lois who he is, and she already
Right.
knows he's Superman. So then there was like this heartful conversation where she's like, okay, I want to interview Superman. And I was like, okay, now it's making sense. So
Yeah. When
Lois already
Clark
knows.
says, yo, you want to interview Superman? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do an actual interview.
Yeah.
It gets a little serious, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was just to a point where, hashtag super shit.
Corniest thing in the world. I'm not even going to lie to you. Corniest thing in the
Yeah.
world.
It was funny, but you already know who came up to. We can't tell you right now. It's later down the line. But it was to a fact where it was just like Superman was trying to say like I'm trying to save people. I'm not trying, but I've been saving people. To the fact that I don't want to see people hurt. I don't want to see the world go into chaos, into destruction. All I want to do is save people and live up to my parents' words.
True.
So that's the thing. Because in the beginning, well, I'll say like maybe like 5 minutes in the video or 5 minutes in the movie, you see in the message that was left for Clark, his parents says that they want him to completely protect the world, everything else like that, live by, good and everything else, But then down the line,
The message is corrupted, yeah.
yeah, the message is corrupted. So another thing I also I remember was Gorkos. I think Gorkos from the I think he's a dictator or something. Maybe he's a dictator. I don't know. The president.
Oh, yeah, of Bolivia, yeah. Or like the other country next to Bolivia.
The other side. Yeah. He was denying the involvement of the attack of Superman and the citizens of Metropolis, and I'm just like, that's kind of sus. It's kind of weird. I feel like he's working with Lex Luthor because for him to deny that, because seeing how they hammer Bolivia and then you see Gorkos working together and stuff like that, something is going on. They're doing things to incriminate Superman and trying to take something out of him, and then this was happening because Superman did meet him before. He did. He's like, even in the interview, like, I put him in so I'm in the desert. I put him near a cactus. Just little spikes and all.
Yeah, kind of do a little Batman, I'm threatening you, like, chill out, or, just kind of put fear in his heart. Superman doesn't kill. His routine is, I'm not killing nobody.
No.
This is different from Zack Snyder's version, where he snapped Henry Cavill's Man of Steel snapped Zod's neck, which I find a lot to be like, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
Nah, he just gave him a little nice internal slumber. You'll be alright.
Yeah. This version would just be like, I'm pushing the line, but I'm obviously not gonna kill you. Everybody knows that. So
Right.
that's Superman's motto. But just so this dictator can chill out, because he he was doing the most to Bolivia. He was doing the most. I'm not even gonna lie.
But here's the thing, though. Because of this whole situation, right? This has caused a lot of conflict. And then Lex went to the Pentagon to show the people, like, listen, I've made a team called Planet Watch. Okay? Planet Watch is to literally control all metahumans. To put them in places that, we have, like, certain ways to make sure nothing for domestic or foreign to literally be in our country or in our world, because Lex Luthor, alien racism. So that's what pretty much happened.
Yeah.
But then what caught my attention was the fact that he used engineer, he used that Hammer Bolivia, but after Hammer Bolivia we don't know who he is, because the guy, he reminds me of what's his name from what's that show from The Boys. He was wear all black, he doesn't talk, he's mute.
Black Noir.
Thank you, Black Noir. I was just like, I'm getting some Black Noir vibes.
Which
That's the vibe
anyone
I'm
who knows
getting.
the comics, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, who makes Homelander go crazy in the comics, because he was eating babies and doing all this crazy stuff, and Homelander was like, well, maybe this is me. It's like, okay, of course it is.
I started to ask myself this question, because how the hell did Clark Kent got his ass beat by another person? And it's just like, okay, because then remember, Superman went to have an interview with Lois. The interview was like 35% sour, because just by looking how things went. But then after a situation, Lex Luthor attacked Superman's home. They got his home. They attacked
the fortress. Yeah,
the Fortress of Solitude. Attacked his home. Attacked Crypto, and then Angelica, or aka the engineer.
Yeah,
She destroyed his helpers, and Ultraman and Engineer goes in, destroys half the place, half the robots and everything. Engineer hacks Superman's computer, and then she was able to finally decrypt the message.
She said it was take some time for her to decrypt the message, and eventually they did. Now, my problem with this was, one, Crypto was supposed to die in this movie. It was stated that Crypto was supposed to die, but it did not go well with the audience review. And personally, I think it was supposed to be an impactful thing, but some people don't like animals dying. My second gripe with this is the decryption of the message seemed very, I'm gonna say this for perspective, was like some Viltrumite shit. I'm gonna be real. Because when he decrypted it, I thought it was fake. And then they asked Lex Luthor, wow, it's crazy you put out that fake message about Superman after they defeat some giant creature with the help of Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, Hawkwoman, and Mr. Terrific in the city, because Lex lets out this giant little creature after him and after Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois were arguing about what is right and what is wrong, and what you should be doing by the books and not by the books story.
Yes,
so
correct.
The one problem with that was I'm kind of skipping a little bit.
Yeah,
Clark feels that he is right on what he did, which is true. It's right to save people in any way possible, any means necessary, because he has the means. If he did nothing, people will look at him like, you did nothing to help. Like, what is wrong with you? And then if he did something, it's still backlash. You know what I'm saying? Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. Then now, when Lex decoded the message, Clark defeated the creature that Mr. Terrific eventually put the orbs in it and blew it up. He was like, oh, we could have saved it, and that could have sent it to some intergalactic zoo. Mr. Terrific rolls his eyes, because obviously Clark is a Boy Scout. His classic moniker is Boy Scout. Because
he's a pacifist.
Yeah, but it's the fact that it's like, what do we do with this thing that is taking damage, getting stronger by the minute? But I love when the creature steps in, because Clark saves the little girl, saves the squirrel, the dog pissing, saves the old people, saves as many people as possible. And that is his...
Wait, question. The dog wasn't pissing, it was barking.
Right, my bad. I thought it was peeing. I kind of forgot that.
No. He kind of like blew the dog to the side.
Yeah, the dog, the people, he was saving anybody and everybody he could. That's how quick he was. My favorite part of the beginning of the movie is when he gets smacked by the Hammer Bolivia and gets saved by the halal guy, the hot dog stand dude. And this part, I think, screams a good message to the audience, is let me help you up, Superman. He's like, oh, I think his name was Bagash or whatever. You gotta get out of here. He was like, you save us all the time. This is at least something that we can do to help you. And this is in a certain part of the movie, fast forwarding. Once they defeat this creature, the message goes out that basically Clark is here to have a harem of women to rule over the world and basically bring back Krypton. Lex says this.
Yeah, literally Viltrumites. Literally
Viltrumites. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And Lex says, I did not alter the message. And the part of me is like, no. There is something that he altered. He's like, no, I didn't alter it. Which in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't like that. I feel like that's shitty. But if that's in the Superman, Man of Tomorrow book, like if that's in that book, if that's in that description, if this in that series, that's fine with me. I don't care. But I don't like that because we're coming off the backs of Invincible, the Viltrumites. We're coming off of that. You know what I'm saying? As comic book readers, fans, cartoon watchers, I'm coming right off of the, wow, I'm here to mass produce, breed, and take over your Earth. Like, what are we talking about right now?
I'm here to clap every woman's cheeks.
Like, what are we talking about right now?
It's just like, nah.
But
go ahead.
Once that happens, Superman goes back to the crib. He sees this Fortress Solitude is damaged. Number 4 has been damaged. The dog has been taken. He runs up. He presses Lex. Where's the dog? And he basically says...
And that was the biggest mistake, though. That was the biggest mistake.
He's using a lot of emotion. People didn't like him using all that emotion, all that aggression, all of that anger. A lot of people didn't like that from the comic movie. But I kind of said to myself, but that's the most human part of his character.
Yes, it is.
One, he states, that's not his dog. And 2, it's a dog. Why are you taking the dog? You beat my robots. You destroyed, you copied my message, but you took my dog? That don't make any, what's the point of that? But obviously, Lex eventually doesn't tell him something, but I love the way Lex mumbles under his breath as he takes a sip. The one with the stupid cape. He takes a sip.
I saw that. I was like, oh, wow.
One with stupid cape. He takes the sip, and he's like, well, I heard you. I heard what you said. And as the girl records Superman, that's the part that takes me. And then something with this movie, because we're not reviewing the whole movie here. We're kind of we're going by bit by bit. As he gets kind of called out, people hate him. He has to turn himself in. Eventually,
and that's when people are being biased, though. That's the thing. It's like y'all go into something that you guys just saw, but y'all don't even think like if this is real or not. But then it's just automatically, we hate you, Superman. You suck. All this. I used to be a fan, but you suck. I hope you rot in hell. I'm like, damn. Like that quickly turned from.
That is true though. But it's the classic. Geez. It's the classic. You're the hero today. You're the villain tomorrow.
Yeah. Long enough to be the hero, then later to become the villain. That's pretty much what they're trying to do.
You live long enough to see yourself as you live long enough as a hero, see yourself become the villain. It is that, Christopher Nolan type of quote. But this is, people will turn on you just because they don't know all the information. And that is quite literally how people work. Like that's the most. People can be programmed by anything you see, any messaging out there. You don't know the factual information, but you're taking what you see. That in itself, to me, was like, yeah, that's the most human experience. He got dealt with the most like F you type of situation because he's like, I was saving all you people. But yeah, they turned on you. The guy that once he turned himself in, he put the handcuffs. Before that, even Guy Gardner and all of the Justice Gang looks at him as like, is that true? He's like, no, I don't know. The message was corrupted. I'm not sure. There's a lot there. And then when he turns himself in, I love it how the military themselves take it upon themselves to say yes to Lex Luthor's deal. One, they use Ultraman to restrain Superman, like smash him into the ground with excessive force. I was about to say that's a police reference, like excessive force, police, help,
police,
help. That is to me the funniest situation there because you don't need. He's like, I'm coming in of my own accord. You don't need to use this much force. And then they lock him away in another dimension that has no sun with I forget his name. What's his name?
I got you. It is Metamorpho.
So this is our first look at Metamorpho, which I love Metamorpho as a character because he can basically take anything and turn it into, like, use his body and transform something, like create something.
Right.
And then as he kept in there, Superman's first thought was like, why you, Lex, I can get out of here. And he's like, okay, cool, yeah. There's no more kryptonite, right? Psych! Metamorpho creates it out of his hand. And I'm just like, this is crazy. And what you see is they're holding his baby they captured his baby, which I thought the baby was like part of Metamorpho. Like I was like, what? I didn't know Metamorpho had a kid, but I think it's for the story.
Me too.
I'm not sure.
Is. But I was like, who he was busting? What chicks was he busting?
I'm
like damn.
I'm like, you gave birth to that, or is that part of you? Is that your inner child? Like, I was asking so many questions. Like I didn't know he had a kid.
Because the one animal that can bring birth in the ocean is a seahorse.
Yeah, so I was like, did he create that? Yeah, I was like, in the back of my mind, did he create that? Did he transform his body like that? What caught me?
Like he did remind me of the engineers from the movie Alien, like Prometheus. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
I was thinking of that as well for a second. So I loved the fact that they had Metamorpho, but in the entire black hole, other dimension that Lex Luthor's crazy ass created, he's holding everyone captured. His ex-girlfriend, anybody and everybody who sided with Superman. And I'm just like, people who wrote a bad vlog about him. First of all, Lex Luthor in this is the most unhinged person in the world. He's not just unfreaking hinged. He's also like, boy, why are you capturing...
He's a bully.
Why are you capturing your ex-girlfriend who broke up with you? And boy, if you don't get... He put her... The Pocket Universe caught me off guard. I said, oh, you one of those type of guys that just can't get... Look, don't get me wrong. I've been like... I went through a 6-year breakup. You know what I mean? I broke up with somebody. It was crazy. Nicholas Hoult, who plays Lex Luthor, I couldn't believe it, but I believe it when he was going hard than I've ever seen in my life. Like, motherfucker was going hard in the paint to express what Lex Luthor was as a character. Like, a dickhead. Right. A dickhead. But...
a bully, a narcissist, ego.
So obsessive. To the point where it's like... He says, at some point in the movie, he's not obsessive. He's worried about humans, basically, for... His grand design is, I'm worried that humans are relying on a threat that will one day become a threat, that if we don't see as a threat, we rely on him to the point when he dies or he's defeated, we have nothing else to back ourselves up with. And his mind is, I'm like Tony Stark, I'm thinking of the armor around the earth. His contingency is not just for Superman, but for anything else that if I could build something, create something to beat Superman, whatever's next, I could take it on because my technology defeated Superman. And the world relied on Superman. That made us weak as humans because now we're relying on these meta freaks in his mind that are saving us. Why don't we rely on our humanity's human skills? But then again, you turn the engineer who gave up her body into a machine. Personally, I found it pathetic in my mind. I found his efforts to be, I'm working with mankind against people who are still, at the end of it, freaking human. Mind you. And to move past the reason why Metamorpho is keeping Superman captured and Lois looking for him, which then we get the best scene from Mr. Terrific after she steps into the Hall of Justice, where there's a mural on the wall that's been broken down online. Go check it out. The mural on the wall explains every superhero before DC became DC. So there's a mural on the wall of every single superhero And I watch videos that break down every superhero on that wall of the Hall of Justice, which the Hall of Justice is actual real place. Like, it was based on a real place, which is so cool. And I'm looking in the back to see the members of the Justice Society, which was created, which were the first ever superheroes, first ever speedster, first ever like super Green Lantern. So much there, so much history. And where I'm kind of confused how the Justice Gang aren't called the Justice League or
I was thinking that too.
or the Justice Society. You know what I'm saying? There's no name for them by Justice Gang, which I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe they're pitching that. In the future, we're gonna get a Justice League movie. We get the Justice League. You know, maybe we're working on that. We're working on a title that sticks. She goes in, she talks to them. Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, the best, kills me. He even talks about like, the man of the cloth. And she's like, what? Oh yeah, he revealed his secret identity to us. But the man of the cloth, like the suit, the cape, because to preference this as much as possible. I keep using the word preference. To be real with this, Superman, cape, superheroes, if they were real, the motherfuckers would be smashing and running. Because you can't have a partner. If the superheroes are real, you couldn't be dating. You couldn't be dating. Because your wife, girlfriend, lesbian, gay brother would be dead. You could not have a relationship if superheroes were real. You will only be able to date other superheroes. I'm going to be dead ass with you. Because a secret identity looks like it's the hardest thing to keep up. Because Lois was wildin'. Mr. Terrific eventually, which I find very weird, he puts trackers in people's blood. He's tracking everybody.
It's true. That's what he said. That's what friends do. I put all trackers on my friends. I'm like, oh
no. That is the most.
Kind of
I heard that. That was the most invasive. That's the most invasion of privacy thing I've ever heard. And I was like, you, my friend, are weird. But I feel like he has zero social skills. But it's fine because he's a genius. He's a tech genius. He's done a lot.
He reminds me. No offense to everybody hates Chris fans out here, but he reminds me of Chris's father, Terry Crews. If you're going to sleep, I'm gonna be there. If you're gonna eat, I'm gonna be there. If you're gonna read a book,
reminds you of Julius?
He
reminds you of Julius?
Yes, he does. Because I'm like, he knows everything you're doing. If you have a tracker on you, I'm gonna be there. I know where you at.
Yeah.
24/7, 20 days a week. 20 days a week? No, 365 days a week. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But
yeah.
After they find Superman, they find him in an unstable black hole with another dimension created by Lex. Eventually,
don't forget the monkey bots.
The monkey robots, Crypto running on flying super squirrels because they're tracking him. Eventually, Clark tries to convince Metamorpho to let him go. Metamorpho obviously puts that kryptonite to his body and says, if you let me go, I can save your son. And then he thinks about it. But this is before the hot dog dude who saved Superman, Lex brings him. And when the most creepiest thing ever, Lex brings the hot dog guy in front of Superman, in front of Clark, and says, basically, just tell me everything about you. Just tell me. Tell me who you are. Tell me. And just just basically be a snitch. Snitch on yourself. And Clark does the Riley from Boondocks. Stop snitching. No, the hot dog dude says, don't tell him nothing. Don't give him nothing. Don't do nothing, Superman. And it's just like, please don't do it. The guy just fed me one time. And then Lex eventually is playing Russian roulette, pulls the trigger. Second one, boom, he dead. And then he's like, I'm going to bring, funniest part of the movie, side note, is he says, I'm going to bring every single person that you have talked to, chatted with, helped, whatever, I'm going to bring them here and kill them in front of you. Maybe I might bring that Clark Kent person. Yes, I was dead. I was like, those glasses work so well that Lex Luthor can never see through it. And I'm just like, 12
the most
smartest man, crazy.
Like, even the most egotistic, narcissistic man in the whole universe, he don't even know that's Clark.
Can't even see.
Schmack.
Is crazy to me. After all that, Metamorpho does help. He creates not an artificial sun. I think it's like a Big Bang. He creates something in there that gives sunlight back to Clark, saves the child, gets them out of there, saves Crypto. Then it gets stuck, and then I think the guards, Ultraman, something happens that they get stuck fighting a bunch of creatures. They just basically end up fighting some creatures. They get stuck. No. What were they fighting?
No, they were fighting the Raptors, the people who are in the suits.
Right. The ones that the one that he created for the Earth defense, right?
Yeah, the Planet Watch. He was fighting those people.
Got it.
Yeah.
He fought them, fell inside of like this unstable pool of like energy, which is basically from the black hole. Then they're ending up in a black hole.
River. There's a river. I think
it's a river.
Pocket Universe river or something.
Right? Yeah. They fell in there. They about to fall into a black hole of nothingness in the most gangsta way. Clark's holding the baby, got Crypto, and just blows. And then pushes them back. And I said, he's so strong that he just blew himself out of a black hole. Pause! This man's amazing.
But you're missing one part. The fact that when happened was when Superman was fighting with the Raptors, and then was holding the baby and everything else, and then out of nowhere, after he defeat one of them, and then the black hole came up. He's calling Crypto. Crypto came, was licking the baby, and all that stuff. But then, the black hole was pulling Superman, the baby, and Crypto. Metamorpho came up. Metamorpho came up and trying to pick Superman up. But at that moment, Superman had enough energy to switch his body facing forward to the black hole and use his breath and just blow all that air out of his lungs and get out. So then, mind you, I'm going back to the scene about Mr. Terrific. When Mr. Terrific agreed to help Lois Lane to go find Superman, and that scene and everything else, Mr. Terrific was saying this quote, if I'm saying word to word, "Why the hell is this dude making a pocket
dimension?
No, not pocket dimension. Pocket universe. He actually created a pocket universe. He actually created the device, because then if you notice in the device, anytime someone uses this, it opens a space rift, and it opens it rips apart the universe every time you're using it. So in that situation, Mr. Terrific knew that if Lex is using this multiple times, it's gonna cause problems into like the whole dimension itself.
It's gonna cause problems for their universe, yeah.
So then in the situation, space-time continuum is gonna cause a rift, and it's gonna cause a tear. It's just like in the movie Loki, not the movie, the TV show Loki. Messing with different timelines, all that stuff. It caused a different tier, all that. Now, my thing is, right, I do feel like we're seeing how the Pocket Universe was actually a good little added bonus into this movie, because it's just like, okay, where all these people are going to, how is this happening, why is Lex acting like egotistic narcissist bully, you know what I'm saying, like why is this happening?
A dickhead, yeah.
But then and I'm just asking myself, okay, there's a reason why he wants to be the number one person in the world, even so he cares about humanity in a way, quote unquote, in his own way, but the way he plays out comes out like a really evil person. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then not only seeing that, Mr. Terrific also sees that Lex is nothing but just a baby, like a child. Because how he acts, he has money, he's smart, but the fact is he doesn't know how to control his emotions in any way. He really, 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 like I say, the alien racism really hate metahumans to the fullest extent.
Yeah. So, for the most part, fast forward on this, the movie was good. A lot of character development there. A lot of people's complaints was basically Superman defeats Ultraman, which is a clone of himself. Lex gets thrown into jail, has a little hissy fit. I don't think 100% this was Lex Luthor. This version of Lex Luthor would have been crying, bitching, screaming. I didn't like those parts of Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is calm, precise, calculated. He is very not moving with his emotions. This was a very more emotional Lex Luthor. When he even lost, he was a little bitch about it. Didn't like that.
Oh, I was gonna say pretty much like the girl who takes selfies. The reason why she was taking selfies was like she was the
she was basically Jimmy Olsen's side chick, helping him out with information to basically blackmail Lex Luthor and find out, hey, he's doing all these evil things with the help of this, this, and this, and Lex is a bad guy, and she's been taking selfies basically looking like she's stupid, but just taking a selfie of everything he is doing. Which honestly, they didn't explain how Jimmy Olsen's a chick magnet, which confused the shit out of me, but he's a chick magnet. He's just trying to like work and like, I'm trying to make money and work and just get the scoop. Okay. I didn't really find that to be interesting. I found that to be a little weird. Like, Jimmy Olsen's been a chick magnet. Okay, I guess. But this girl was obsessed with him. Like, she's like, she was like, I would leave Lex Luthor for you. Okay.
Yes.
What's the reasons?
Lex heard everything.
What's the reasons? Like, there was, I don't know. Jimmy must just have the charm and energy, but he just looks like a
swagger.
He looks swag. I'm gonna be real. The actor playing Jimmy Olsen and the Jimmy Olsen in this movie is mid. I was like, there's nothing compelling or cute about you, bro. I don't get it. But that's maybe the story's joke. Like, maybe that's how it is. Like, Jimmy Olsen, how does he do it? No one knows. He has no idea either. So, it's like Clark's glasses. You don't know it's fucking Superman. Jimmy Olsen don't know how he gets bitches. So, she basically is the foil to everything. Ultraman finds out, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, that time rift that we talked about is starting to break up after Superman gets free. It starts to rip across Metropolis, rip across everything. Big fight scene with Superman, the Engineer, and Ultraman. He used this girl like a rag doll. He finally finds out what Ultraman is, which is a clone who's dumber. Which the clone gets defeated, sent to the black hole. My theory on the clone would be the clone becomes Bizarro or the clone becomes Doomsday. My theory on the clone that Superman could fly into a black hole and be fine. Or die maybe because there's no sunlight. But this is a clone of him that's also taking him on that dies. Just ends up dead. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's it? Just throw in a black hole and he's gone? But I'm like, what if he comes out the other end? What if he comes out into another universe or dimension or whatever and gets transformed into Doomsday? That's my theory. The people find out Lex has been using everything against Superman. They defeat all of Lex's robots. Guy Gardner, Hawkwoman, and Mr. Terrific both end up in Bolivia where they're calling out for Superman and they help out the people. And Hawkwoman, funniest shit ever, kills the dictator of the other side. And there's a lot of similarities, a lot of patterns to this for obviously what's happening in the real world. I don't want to say it. You all probably guessed it by the movie.
You can see it for themselves.
If you've seen the movie, you already guessed what they were making similarities to, what they were drawing similarities from the real world about is, because that's usually what most movies do. And this movie got people mad that Superman was an alien. I was like, go touch grass. He's a literal alien from outer space. That's what they were saying. Like, come on. And then people are like, oh, but he's an immigrant. I'm like, well, he technically is a freaking immigrant who landed on American soil. But, long story short, the movie was good. It landed heavy, strong. There was probably some parts that didn't make sense to people, like the opening. But James Gunn was like, when we get into this movie, it's just like opening up a comic book. I like that. I like that part of it because it was a comic book story. But then you also have to still feed that to comic book fans and then a regular general audience. But, they skipped the origin story, which, okay. And it was fun. It was still a fun movie.
Yeah. This is the last one. Then we get into another the last one. I ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All the niggas falling like autumn, nigga. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous. Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story so Stephen Curry